From our classic rock corner, stay tuned for a guitar tutorial on Boston's More Than a Feeling. We shall be right back.
Play like a pro at String Sound Studios.
Good day. See my Mary and walking away. Good. I do know that part. I just felt like I'd shut that down there. And in this live stream, once again, we are going to concentrate on 6 concepts, which will enable you to play Boston's More Than a Feeling. So how's it going out there today? Anyone out there? Anyone hear me? Yes? No? Maybe so? Okay, I hope the audio sounds good. Everything's working out good for you. And let's roll it, all right? So, Mike Violette, String Sound Studios. Glad you tuned in again. The goal of my live streams is to be educational, inspirational, exploratory on a variety of topics and styles. We are streaming to you from multiple platforms such as YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, and Twitch. A few other ones as well. But what I'd like you to do is hit that YouTube button and subscribe, please. We need subscribers on YouTube, and you can find out when we're doing this. And that, I think, is the best venue to watch it on, is YouTube. So I hope the stream's looking good out there, looking good from here on my perspective. And we shall get going. Now, I talked about 6 concepts here, okay? Hey, how's it going? Hey, Kelly, what's good? Looks good. Sounds good. Yeah, I worked hard on the on the lighting, and I'm getting some better audio, and I upgraded a little bit to get some better video. So we'll just keep working on those and making them sound better, and making it look better, and making me look better, making me play better. I did talk about 6 concepts, and let's go through them, and then we can. Continue on learning, okay? A lot in this tune, might not sound like it, but a lot going on here. So, 1, we're going to talk about arpeggio picking, okay? We're also going to talk about common tones. That's going to enable you to play this a little bit better. We have different types of chords, suspended chords and slash chords. We have bar chords. Very dynamics tune, all right? They use a decent amount of dynamics and a great recording. Tommy Schultz did this whole album, I believe, in his basement. Then he went out and hired people. So this goes back to the 70s. I'm not exactly sure what year, 70s, 70-something, 75, somewhere around there. Okay? And we'll talk a little bit about some of the effects I'm using. All right, let's get going. Now, in the beginning, in the form of this, you have to realize the form. And I'm going to show you the parts, of course, the form. This one can take a while here. So let's get going, right? We're already 3 or 4 minutes into it. Now, what happens is they do, excuse me, hit my mic here. They do a fade in, okay? And on the backing track, it might only went 3 times, then the verse starts. But let's go through that. We'll let's talk about the form as we go, but let's go through some of the chords here, right? Now, I'm going to zoom in, and I always do this, and I'll hide behind here. So you can really hone in on what you're doing. I'm hiding behind the cereal box here, right? All right, that's enough. All right, took time to zoom in. Now, we're going to talk about the chords, and I do a lot of this on how to strum them, okay? First chord is a D sus chord. You want to form this chord like this, okay? even though you're not playing the suspension right away. So let's take a look, and I'm doing this is kind of like an intermediate level type song, right? If you're a beginner, I mean, you can take a look at it, but you'll learn about terms and everything like that. All right, if you're pure beginner, look at my pure beginning course. All right, so we have a G chord which is like this, okay? 3 here and 2 here. 1, play close to the frets, 3, 2. Now my suspended chord is this. And a suspended chord by definition is a chord that it doesn't have a third in it, but it usually resolves to the third. In classical music it does that a lot, although this is in other forms of music too as well, okay? And rock as well because they're doing it. So this is my suspension. I'm going to put my 4th finger there, but I'm going to form this D chord. Because why? Well, I'm going to pick this up. So those are your first 2 chords. Now the way he picks this, I'm going to show you like this, okay? It's kind of alternate picking, okay? Arpeggio picking. So you have this. And then your first string. Those are the first 4 notes. Okay? So here we go again. D open. This finger here, right? 2nd string. Back to the 3rd string. Then this. All right, now what do? You lift this up. Now you have your D chord there. And he does this. Okay? So it's a D chord with a G in it. So that's kind of going from adjacent string to adjacent string. Let's do that again from the beginning. Now, I hear this, what I'm doing. Sorry. I know the score says it has another D in it. It jumps down to a D, and you can do it that way too. For example, before he goes to this, okay? I just like carrying this over. Okay? And carrying that suspended sound over a little bit. So you can try it a few different ways, right? But these are the chords. I heard people play it differently too, just more all on adjacent strings. But get the feel of it, get the flow, it'll all sound good. Now, let's go to the next. Of course, you're playing it in time, you're going to go to the 3rd beat where it's supposed to go to the D chord and so forth and so on. Remember, it's got this. All right, so one more time. Let's do that one more time. Okay? Oh, it's hard to do this here. But I ask people, I say, well, that works really good rather than having a split screen because you can see everything real close to the finger. Okay? So I'll put a little guitar, my body and my guitar down here, right here. So, all right, let's go to the next string now. What we're going to do is, and this is what I talked about, one of the concepts was common tones. I'm not going to pick anything right now, but you play this chord, then you have this, right? You have that. And don't do this. I'm just doing that for purpose of illustration so you can see what I'm doing. Now, next chord is this. Okay? And that is called, we could call that a C sus2. And then we're going to go to the G with the B in the bass. All right? So we're going to come from here, go like this, go like that, and then go like that. See, this is a common tone. I'm anchoring my finger. It's very common, and this progression isn't like, I already did some tunes on Fly By Night, Sweet Home Alabama, a couple other tunes that have this progression in it with that bass line. So it seems to be a common thing in rock, okay? So this, there, right? Get rid of that. We have that. We're going to do this C sus2 chord, and then we're going to go here. And we're going to talk about how you're going to pick that. Now, once we go to this C chord here, okay? So we have this. I'll just play. Okay? Then we go to there. So I'll play it so you can hear the sound of it and watch my left hand. Then we'll talk about the picking. I messed it up. Okay? Well, let's talk about how we're going to do that. All right? So we'll take it from here again. So when I do this C9, I play the fifth string, then third, and these are open. That's anchored there. Third string's open. Then I go to the G with the B in the bass. Back to the second string. Then I play the big old G here. And it's just sixth string to here, to second. See that? So my progression there, and it keeps doing that, you got the C chord. Hear that? Once again, C. Sorry, I messed up. Okay, so I'm going to take it from the beginning. It's tricky to play here with this, but we'll get it done. All right, so from the beginning. All right, and remember the progression goes D sus, D with the G, C, G with the B in the bass, G. Then it does that in the introduction. It does that, well, on the backing track I have, I think it's 3 times, but the real version does that 3 times, then the verse comes in, okay? So we're going to try it from here with my picking here. You got to work on that so you get this sound. It is tricky to do this here, even at a slow tempo. Okay? So remember, work on it, listen to it, all right? Now, let's go. Let me play it again, and this way, I'll zoom out and you can listen to it. And again, I'm doing that with my finger because people tell me that's real. I can see that really clear. So, but it's hard to do actually. All right, let's try it. So it's nice and slow. Again. Okay, I'm playing it finger style, obviously. When I do something like this, I tend to play it finger style because it has a lot of jumping around. Can I play it with a pick? Yeah, I can also, do a pick and fingers, but I choose to do something like this with my fingers. And in the live stream, for purposes of dynamics and things, you notice if you watch these, I use my fingers a lot. So I guess this is not a lesson on, hey, this is the pick, this is your fingers. I want you to use a pick, use your fingers. If you're going to use finger style, really study, finger style, classical type finger style. If you're going to use the pick, make sure you hold it correctly. There's other live streams where I talked about holding the pick correctly. But this one, yeah, a lot going on, a lot of jumping around. All right, so you have that progression. And by all means, when you're playing this for practice, okay, just do this, okay? Right? Get those chords going, then add the picking in, all right? Next, all right, so it does that in the verse, it does that 3 times. Now, what does he do after? So we know the chords, I could zoom, I don't have to zoom in a real lot on my hands, okay? We know the chords. But what happens on the 4th time, he starts playing the D, so. Then he goes to this C sus2 and he stays there. So that's kind of like a sweep. You want to sweep right across. You're like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So come from your 5th string, right? You go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then switch to the G with the B in the bass. Put your 4th finger here, okay, and do the same type picking. So you're going from 5 to 1 back to 4. If you do that, that'll be 2 bars of music because he has 1 bar of the C sus2 to here. All right. So I'll just play 2 bars of the progression, and then I'll do that. So we have this. One more, right? Now watch. Now what? We go to an A minor chord, to the E minor, then to a D. So my rock and roll section is coming up, my heavy stuff, and I'm going to zoom in. We can talk about that A minor chord and that E minor chord and everything else. Okay, let's go. Hey, come on. All right, I guess that's good. Talking to myself here. Here we go. All right, so we're coming from the G with the B in the bass. Remember, we did this progression here. Sorry. To here. Now we're going to go to an A minor chord. All right, so what does my A minor chord look like? Well, it looks like this. I'm going to go 2 here, 3 here, 1 here. So if we take a look, I got my first finger there. I'll go backwards. My 3rd finger here, and that there. Okay? I want you to just strum 2 what we call quarter notes, like on the beat. 1, 2. Okay? Then we're going to go to E minor. Now, the good thing about the E minor, we're going to take this A minor shape, and we're going to move that up or down. In the case of, this would be down, I guess. Here, okay, because we're moving this way. I talk in pitch on the guitar. Everyone should talk in pitch, okay? So this in pitch is going down. I know it's going up. We're going up to it, but everything's opposite on the guitar, okay? Now we're going to go into E minor. Then we're going to go back to a D. I'll play the exact progression. It does do an E minor with a G in the bass, but we'll get that E minor first. Watch. Here's my A minor. I go to the E minor. So you might want to do this. The score says E minor with a G in the bass. E minor will work just fine. But when you play the E minor, it's this rhythm. So if you listen to the music, and you should be, I go 1, 2, 3, and hold that. Then to a D, 2, 3, and 4. So back to the D. Then we're going to go to our rock and roll part. All right? So let's take a look. I'm not going to play everything in here. I want you to listen to this really slow. And I'm going to take it, a couple bars of the D sus to the D, and then we'll go into the next part, okay? And I'll stop at the heavy part. So here we go. Okay, one more time. Bam, then we hit the G. And we're talk about those bar chords right now. So you got that there? Okay? Remember the picking patterns and things of that nature when you do the A minor. So let's take it from here. A minor, E minor, or E minor with a G. Okay? D. Right before that G chord where it gets heavy, right? On the fourth beat around there. Then he goes to the G. All right, let's take a look. Now we're into some heavy strumming. Yeah, I could boost on, put my tight drive on there and boost the volume and overdrive rather, but no, I won't do that right now. So we're going to do some chords here. Okay, they're going to be closed chords as opposed to open. What's a closed chord, Mike? Well, I'm not using any open strings when I do this, right? Up to the here. And we got to talk about those rhythms, all right? All right, let's take a look at our chords first. So one of the things I didn't mention, 6 concepts, but you know, I can sit here and say there's 100 concepts in the song to help you learn it, and that'll help you. But let's talk about capos, okay? I left that out in my concepts. I'm sorry. You could send me feedback on String Sound Studios and yell at me. What? All right, but let's take a look. A capo is super important to guitar. And when we do a capo, we want it flat and we want it straight, all right? And this, doing things like this, you know, that's hard on the guitar for even once you start getting into that. You'll beginner, intermediate, all right? So let's take a look. What's the best way to do it? Well, what I tell people is to do this. When you first approach them, you know, you should have done some capos already, smaller ones. You probably want to work on smaller, you know, songs that have smaller capos to get used to it. You know, doing something like this. Not that that's easy. I'm just showing you, oh yeah, it's easier to do a capo on these strings. But let's take a big old capo. Full capo, we call it. Capo means, you know, cover, cap, okay? See that word in there, cap? So let's take a look. What I tell people is to go like this, right? Go like this, number 1. And we're going to take that, I'm number 1, okay? Or you're number 1, because you're watching. You're the best. All right, and you go like this, and you put it there. Now, this is a full capo, okay? My thumb, and anytime you play guitar, okay, let's say I'm playing a capo on the first, 3rd fret, my thumb is, you know, somewhere here. I'm, of course, behind the neck. I'm not doing this, okay? I can tilt the guitar down. But your thumb, you got to keep that somewhere behind your 2nd finger when you play, okay? Because it distributes the weight evenly amongst all your fingers. Now, capo first, okay? Then 3. So I'm pressing all these. Just try your capo. It's a good idea to do stuff like this. Oh, yeah. All right, so big capo, right? Then we're going to do 3 here, 4. Remember, I'm playing a lot of notes with this finger, okay? That first finger is very important on the guitar. So we have this. We have 1 here. I'm playing 3, 4, 2. And this capo is actually, because you're playing here, oops, on this part of your finger, you're actually playing those 2 higher strings here. You see that? So if you practice like this, you're going to build calluses all on this part of your hand, and that's important, okay? All right, so there's your capo. Here's your shape. Take a look. That's like an E chord, all right? Except you're not playing it like this. That's a good way to practice capos too. Let's say you play an E chord like this, 3, 4, 2, all open. And then you go here to 1. So you already have this shape. Practice some flamingo thing like that, right? Here, all and chromatically. Okay, here's my G. I'm on a G chord. That is 3rd position, right? 1, 2, 3. But use the dots. Dots are odd numbers until you get up to 12. Okay, it's the even number. Double dots there, because it's what we call an octave. All right. Now, here's my G, all right? All right, finally getting past the G. But that capo is real important. So, the way I want you to strum on this G, it's just like that. 1, 2, and you rest. Because you gotta have a little rest. Now, how do you rest? Well, there's a few ways to do it, but what's probably best in this scenario is you strum. Watch my left hand. It's hard to see, but I just released the tension and kept him on the strings. See that? There's a lot of clicks and stuff in here. You do want that rest, because he's going to go to a C chord. Now, this is another bar chord, okay? Well, you might say, well, Mike, you got this bar chord here. Be aware, this bar is more to do with the third finger. Keep it flat, keep it straight. Not this one. Now, you're going to probably keep this square to the fret here, okay? Parallel to the fret. And you want to get that like that, but I wouldn't concentrate too much on pressing this except for this 5th string here. Okay, your focus has to be on this because that's where your capo is. See that? An outside chord. See what I did there? Move inside. Mike, what do you mean by inside, outside? Well, this is an outside root. Your outside strings are your this and this, right? So I'm playing an outside root. When I move inside, I'm on the 5th string here. That's an inside chord. And these are major chords. This is G major. They call these power chords. I mean, the chords are chords to me. I don't know. Where do you get out of the power stage and into a different chord? Is this I guess that's not a power chord. It's still a G chord. So look, it's a G chord, full bar G chord. You want to use power chord, whatever you want to use. So you have this. There's my C chord. My focus is here. That, I could even arch it, but it's probably better to keep it a little bit flat, the first finger, to help you play this. So your focus is here. All right. Now watch, let's take a look at the rhythm. It's 1, 2, rest. Dot, da, da. So it's da, da, dot, da, da. So have this. Da, da, dot, da, da. Watch. Again, 3, 4. Now we're going to move this, stay inside, we're going to move this up to an E minor. Listen to that rhythm. Now, what are we doing on the E minor? Well, if you get this G chord, and I move it inside that same shape, I go up, right? Let's say this is C minor, because this is C major, right? Just realize that shape there, okay, is E minor. So I move this shape inside, those become minor chords. Major chord, when I take that shape, I start up the 5th string, just everything comes up, right? And I go adjacent strings 5, 4, 3, 2. That becomes what we call minor. Listen to the sound. Major, happy sound, minor, sad. You hear it? Now, this is really important. When I teach students, they try to move a chord like this, and their hand gets all discombobulated as they move up. I'm coming from a C chord, right? What you have to do is release the tension, okay? Release it, right? So if we take a look here, see I'm coming up? And guide yourself on the strings, then go back. Now your 1 and your 3, you want to really guide those and then reform the chord. So let's not do this and try to grip the guitar. When we get to where we're going, my thumb is just kind of gliding. I'm not pressing, okay? So you don't press unless you want a sliding sound, but that's not what we're doing. Yeah, there's a sliding sound. We're not doing that, okay? So we want to apply pressure when we get to our destination. So here's my C chord up to the E minor. Let's take a listen to that rhythm. Then I go to a D rather. The D is the same shape as the C chord, except it's in fifth position. Okay? So let's play that whole section really slow. And so forth and so on. Now, when he does that, you're going to have to listen to the form. I'll play it again from the beginning, okay? And, keep it like this so you can see exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to play with the backing track. We have more. There's a lot in this song, okay? So, I'll keep going. I'll do this an hour and a half if I have to, okay? It's hard to do some songs, certain songs, in a half hour. You got to be thorough. And the more I repeat things and give you advice, the better you get. So keep it going. All right, now let's take a look at this part again. So I'm going to do this, and this goes a full 5 times. Okay, and then he goes to the E flat. But you know the chords. It's a matter of you how many times you're doing it, listening to the song a lot, okay, and watching my videos. All right, watch 3, 4. You know what? I'm just going to do it twice, and I'll go 1.5 times. I'll go to E flat. Watch, you got this. This is your progression in the heavy rock part here. I'll crank it up here. Watch. Then he goes to something else. So what we're doing is we're going to an E flat chord, right? That's inside too. So you have a C, you have the D inside, and you have the E flat. Hmm? Remember, your progression, this is going to go full 5 times. All right, full 5 times. Now the last time, before he goes to A flat, he plays the G. And then we're into something else, okay? So, ready for the next segment? All right, here we go after that. I'll play it again from here. Whole note, 2, 3, 4. He goes to an E minor. A big E minor we're going to do an arpeggiando, okay? And we talked about arpeggio picking. We talked about common tones. We talked about suspended chords. And now we're into what we call slash chords, all right? Before there was kind of a slash chord, which is a note that's not other than the root of the chord in the bass. All right, so we'll call that a slash chord. We have a big E minor arpeggiando. Okay, that's a big, like slow strum. 2. Now listen to this rhythm. It's kind of it's a dotted 8th to an 8th and then 2 8ths, and you hold it over. So your E minor sounds like this. Well, E minor 7, he does this too. I'm going to play the E minor 7 like this with my 4th finger, okay? There's a few ways to do it. If you know another way you want to play the E minor 7 here. I mean, you can just do this too. Or this, right? You have the D in there. So, all right. But I like this sound. So watch the rhythm here. Then he's going to do some more sus4, sus2 chords. We're going to do that. Watch. All right, now what do we do? It's kind of nice because you have this here. You're going to go to this A sus chord. I already have my 4th finger. Then that's how you play the A sus. Okay, you form an A chord and do this. But since you're doing this like this, you keep it there. Go to the A sus. It's kind of progression is at 1 and 2. So he's got A sus4, A chord, just like before, the sus4 resolving to the 3rd of the chord. Now he does what we call a sus2. What's that, Mike? Well, that is this. And my 2nd string is open. See that? Let's zoom in here on some of these chords. These are new. help you out here. Come on, Zoom. Let's go. All right. So we had the E minor 7 chord, A sus4, A, okay, and then back to the A. So then it goes to big G. Now I play the G this way. Of course, that's a G, but there's a reason why I'm playing the G this way. And I'll play this little section for you, and I'll take it from the backing track. So we're gonna play the big G like this. Nice arpeggiando again. Again, it's a kind of a dotted rhythm. 1, 2, and tie it over. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now watch this. D, okay, this is an F sharp is my slash chord. F sharp with a D with an F sharp in the bass. This can be a tricky chord, okay? What I would recommend is going like this first. Play the G, then to an E minor. Just play the bass note, watch. Okay? E, and then you're gonna go to D. So let's listen to that part. Bum, bum, bum. If you listen to the bass notes, big G chord, D with an F sharp, right? Open, and that's an E minor chord, and then to a D. Now, how can you, well, there's a few ways to play that. Let's take, once you get the bass thing down, let's do it this way. When I go to the G with the F sharp, just do this. Do F sharp, all of these other notes are in the chord. Okay? See that? So I have that. And then you can go right to an E minor. Keep E minor 7 if you want. So that's, the tricky thing is doing this. Get rid of that sus. But you gotta look at, utilize your common tones. I have this, right? So I go like that. Oh, I'm staying here, I'm anchoring that there. The reason why I play the G like this. You don't want to do this, then this, then this, okay? You want to get the easiest possible way, right? Common tones, common voicings, all kinds of things, right? Voice leading, sorry. It's kind of what we call voice leading, okay? Going to the next chord the easiest possible way. Keeping common tones. Then we have an E minor. Then we have a D. And my hand stays all in that more forward shape rather than going like this, then I go like this, then I do an E minor like that. You want the least possible movement. So it looks smooth. So I could get this chord like this. Maybe you never played a G like this, but you should. All right? And then, this could be a tricky chord. I mean, the full way to play this is like that. So you gotta play a D chord like this, you see? All right. So let me play that part from the E minor 7. So and then he comes back in with that's the interlude, the C sus2. Drum fill, second verse. First, second verse are identical. All right? Let's back out. Let me do that all the way up to there, and then we're going to work on more stuff. Okay, giving you a workout, I hope. All right. You can see the whole guitar here, and it's in close. I'll do it from there. All right, here we go. Looper and everything. Ready? From the beginning. again. So you have that verse there. Stop. Looper, stop. So then you go back to the same verse. You go back through that whole thing. And you go to the E flat again. Now he does the same thing. Now he goes. Da 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 dee da 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 da. Now we're in the solo. So we got some more chords to do. We got to talk about the end. We're learning the parts, okay? And learning all the parts, learning the chords, rock and roll, bar chords. Now, so we go through that whole thing again, okay? I'm going to zoom in again so you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. And we go through that whole verse again. You get up to here on the E flat chord. 2, 3, 4. This is what we call the coda section. There's a long coda section in here. The coda is kind of an ending, okay? So you play the same verse thing again. When you get to that E flat, we're going to the coda, right? Now my coda is my ending, but this ending goes on for a while, okay? So we go back to the E minor 7. The A, right? So now, instead of going to a G chord there when I'm in the coda section, he does B chord, B5 we'll call it, an A5 chord, a G chord, and a D chord. So you get that, and it's very dynamic. That's one of the other things we talked about bar chords, is the dynamics they use in this, okay? So we take a listen, he's doing this. Now watch. Hey, da, they get very loud. You see how it keeps building up to that dramatic section where he does the solo there, right? Well, let's talk about what happens there. All right, so you go to that B5 chord, right? We're square on this, right? Kind of mellow. Now a solo's coming up. We're gonna just do rock and roll bar chord 1 and 3, okay? Power chord, whatever. It's not even a full chord. He's just doing 1 and 3, right? But eighth notes, 1 and 2 and go to this, play the A. I go to a full G here and do a D chord. They're all eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now he goes back to this A sus4 and 3 and 4 and to the A, 2 and that's where you saw da 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 da. We'll do that another time. Okay, more interested in chords right now. I'm gonna fake the solo. I'm not actually gonna learn it, but I'll learn it. We'll do it next week. How's that? Should be able to do it next time in one of these live streams. So we're gonna go to the B chord. Two, three, four. Solo section. All right, you know a lot of these chords already, okay? So solo section, I'm not doing a lot of heavy bar chords. I'm doing more just the open position chords while he's soloing over it. Probably best to do that if you're jamming with the band and you got your lead guitar player or you guys are switching leads on songs and you know you're a lead, you're a rhythm. You should learn both. Should be everything guitar player. So now we got on the solo section. The chords are. Oh yeah, here we go. B minor. What's that? Well, we learned the E minor. Remember we did the E minor up here? So this is a B minor. You're going to do that minor shape here in second. Okay? And then E minor. Another big E minor to the A. Back to the G. This stuff again. And that's interesting at that second interlude. Now, I want to talk about something here because you have to listen to this. Of course, you want to listen to everything, but listen to the way he plays the chords and the rhythm in the solo section. Okay, so it's more like. So those aren't exactly split bars. What I'm saying is they don't always come in on, on one. I mean, they do come in on one, but they're not always coming in on beat three, meaning split bar. We're in 4/4 time, 1, 2, 3, 4. But he's kind of coming in sometimes on the end of three. So you really want to listen to it, and it's pretty distinctive when you listen to the song. Okay. This live stream is going to be real long because we still have more to go. But I'm going to play kind of the way it sounds, okay, when Tommy Schultz is soloing. So we're going to take it right on the solo after the pickup. Da, da, da. So those rhythms are a little bit, they're not exactly split bars, and he's not doing the same rhythmic sequence all the time. Listen to that section a lot. That's the best piece of advice I can give you. Okay? And then what do we have after the interlude? All right. Well, at the interlude, the second interlude after the solo, right? We have the D chord. Now he just holds that. He's got some harmonic things going. We're doing the chords. Okay, I'm going to talk about the fills and the harmonics another time. 3, 4, right? And then he starts going to this again. Now you're going to have that. You're going to have that 3 times. All right, that verse when he starts singing again. So you have to listen to this. And then they have another dramatic part, okay? So he's doing the C sus4. Now that's a little bit different. I'm on the last verse the last verse. So he does that verse the same as the first verse with these, chords here. When I'm tired and thinking cold. All right, so he does that. Now, it starts building up, right? D sus4 starts strumming though. It's gonna be a lot of these same chords. The thing is, he doesn't go to a G chord right away. He does that after he does this a few times. So we're at the end, the last verse. He does that. Now you hear that part where it starts getting dramatic, right? He goes back to the C sus2. Starts over again. Now he does that twice. Then he starts going. Da 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 da. G with the B and the bass, and then the outro. And then rock and roll ball chords. The thing at the end, you want to listen to it. In all the other verses, he plays one D chord, right? He does E minor. 4, right? 1, 2. And then he goes to the G. This time, very last verse on the outro, he does another ball. More dramatic. Get it. Okay, into that. So, I guess I could zoom out and try to play the whole thing, do the whole forms, turn it into a long lesson. But, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, maybe we won't play it. We'll pack it in. All right. Should I play it or should I not? Who's out there? Anyone listening? Should I play the whole thing? Or we'll be here another 5 minutes. I'll play it. All right. Ready? 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. Sing first. Verse 2. Time. Coda. Okay, rock. Da, da, da. One more time. Outro. Yeah. And it fades in and out. All right. Well, it doesn't fade in; it fades out. And so there you have it. That's a real long live stream lesson. We'll back out, and so I hope you enjoyed the live stream. And yeah, it's going on an hour, but that was fun. Okay, it was a lot of fun. Hope the audio's good. Hope the lighting's good. Hope I was good. And you're good. You're the best. Okay, because you're listening, you're watching, and you're learning. So you got a whole 3-hour lesson there. Mike at String Sound Studios. Remember to sign up for my Play Like a Pro video courses. I have a pure beginning guitar course. I have the blues, beginning blues guitar course, a midway blues guitar course, was like kind of like an intermediate. Check out my pure beginning ukulele course if you're into that. Hopefully I get some more courses written and done. I mean, I have some written. We got to get them done. Remember to send me feedback via stringsoundstudios.com. Or, if you're watching this in the future, if you're watching this If you watch this in the future, you can't chat with me on this, but you can always send me an email. If you watch, you can always chat with me on this. And what else? Did I leave anything out? All right. Well, I had fun. Hope you had fun. And have a good week. I will do I think the next live stream, I'm going to etch it in stone. I'm not going to say I'm going to do it next week. I try to do these every Friday in between everything else. And this, String Sound Studios, we do a lot of, we have a lot of music lessons, of course, going to the home. Right now, it's still in the pandemic. If you're watching this 5 years from now, a little history lesson, or 20 years from now, well, that's when that pandemic was. Mike was doing more than a feeling. But we're doing that. And Zoom lessons. So I have teachers working for me too, if you're on Long Island. But if you are not and you want to do Zoom lessons, you're in Connecticut or California or wherever you are, Japan, and you're watching, be our guest. We'll try to hook you up with someone Zoom. And of course, in Long Island, we do a lot of going to the home. And so, tune into those live streams. I want to do a few of these a week, and we're doing all kinds of different genres of music. And I will do the next time, whether it's next week or the week after. I try to do these every Friday. I'm going to do the solo for this and some of the fills, okay? That'll be next. All right, that was a nice long one. We're going on an hour here. And really have a good day. I think that went well. And I shall see you. And remember to do this.
At String Sound Studio.